All right, we're in it. Back for another episode, One Shining Recap Show. Recapping the first weekend we've had of the college basketball season. Some good games to talk about. Um, Looks like we whiffed on another freshman who we failed to mention in our previous show, and we spent so much time talking about the top three and the big three, and then obviously we didn't mention Koa Pete, and he went off last week, and we also didn't mention Caleb Wilson, and he went off last week. So
I think we mentioned him briefly.
we might have mentioned him briefly, but we definitely
Yeah,
didn't give him the time we
yeah.
gave to the big three,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
he clearly asserted himself firmly in the race for the top freshman in the country with his performance against Kansas. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about that and um, all kinds of all kinds of stuff. Let me go retweet this stuff real quick. Let people know we're live. Um, Go ahead, talk. You talk for a second while I do this retweeting.
Yeah, just talking about. I know Caleb Wilson. That's going to be probably the biggest story. UNC has looked really impressive coming out the gate. And then this weekend we also had a couple other big games. You had UNC and not UNC. I already mentioned them, but St. John's in Alabama. And then you had Arkansas versus Michigan State. And then on Sunday you had Indiana Marquette and what a performance by Indiana. Although I think Marquette, it might be a sign more so that Marquette is kind of not good this year. And then you have Baylor winning over Washington last night. I'm sure Joof is excited about that one. But we'll get into all those games, like do full recaps here in a minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up tweeting
Mm-hmm.
these, and we can
Mm-hmm.
start all that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Putting the finishing touches on these tweets. Let me go cycling through different accounts, retweeting them, trying to get the word out. So you know how it be. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Once again, proof that I need to get a computer, but here we are. All right, we got six people tuned in now. And Matt's going to be in here momentarily. He said about 20 minutes ago he's going to join in 15 minutes. And so, yeah, late start than what we were looking for, but shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's save, if Matt's close, see if we can save UNC Kansas for him. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'll give you a minute and we can talk about first. To talk about Purdue and Oakland, because
Yeah.
Oakland gave Purdue a run for their money in the and there on Friday. So I mean I didn't tune in, but I mean y'all are the number one team in the country. Oakland put up a hell of a fight. Yeah. While we wait for Matt to talk about the big stuff, let's see if we kill a few minutes and let you get into Purdue and Oakland and what you thought about the Boilermakers performance in that one.
I mean, it was just a game where like Oakland played great. I mean, they played their best game they could. Greg Campy had them coached up well. He said as much that they didn't play well against Michigan. Michigan had destroyed them the other night, like the first night of the season. But like, I think it's just part of TKR being out as well. I don't think the game was ever in doubt. I just think they got a Oakland got a lot of extremely lucky rebounds. It was like the same thing against Evansville. A lot of their shots in the first half, especially, like they kept getting insane rebounds. Like the ball would fall right off into their hands, like after their shot. Like I think it was just a rebounding was the big issue. But Braden Smith played great. He had a great game. Had a highlight pass to Fletcher Lure, like he just did a no look, like one of the most beautiful passes I've seen by Braden Smith. Um, and Oscar Clough looked good. down the stretch. I think that really helped. And CJ Cox got going. It was kind of a weird game to start off, too. Like a minute into the game, like the first minute of the game, CJ Cox got a nasty gash on his head, and he had to go to the locker room. So, and it kind of that kind of set the tone for the game. Like just kind of weird stuff happening. A lot of bounces going Oakland's way that shouldn't have. But yeah, we took care of business at Mackey.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely saw. I mean, it happened really with the top two teams in the country. They both got kind of caught sleeping in bye games earlier or during this weekend because obviously Houston struggled with Towson too.
Mm-hmm.
Towson gave Houston a hell of a fight in that game. So yeah, interesting to see the top two teams in the country kind of stumble. Which we talked about the AP poll earlier. Like what? I mean, it's like
strange.
It doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
Purdue gets knocked off number one for struggling in a bye game, but the team they moved to number one also struggled in a bye game. So I mean,
it was strange. It was strange. Nobody really dropped Purdue from number one. It was like the people that didn't have Purdue at number one already dropped Purdue lower. Like it was strange. Such a strange poll.
Matt, what did you think about Purdue and Houston both struggling in bye games, but Purdue gets knocked to number two for their struggles and Houston gets elevated to number one when I feel like they both equally struggled with bye game opponents this weekend?
Yeah, I guess the voters favor Towson over some of these other teams.
Oakland.
yeah, like I don't know what the deal is.
Honestly, I think Oakland, if they get to the NCAA tournament, they'll give a team a game. Like,
oh, they will give a team a game. They will play against them.
I mean, Towson. I'm pretty sure Towson and Oakland are both projected tournament teams before the year. Am I?
Yes,
I know Towson was.
Yeah, which is why they play them. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Like I think we've talked about this before in all kinds of group chats that how just stupid the AP poll is and how outdated just we talk. Football now has a college football playoff committee to kind of take the onus off the AP poll. And, we've talked about this before. The AP poll for basketball might be worse, might be a worse method.
Yeah.
Because most of the voters don't even pay attention to
watch the
basketball until football season because they're football writers. So
they just are like, Houston played in the national championship game last year. Number one, kind of like, who cares? Like, you could tell them, like, yeah, Allen High School in Texas almost beat Houston. They'd be like, whatever. Put them number one. Like, I don't know. Like, I just think the AP poll is one of those things that it's this early in the season, especially. Like, I would not waste my time being totally outraged. It's going to change a billion times. And, at this point in the year, like, no one really knows. Like, I think people have a better idea of who some of the better teams are, but like whether they should be ranked in like number 8 or number 12, I don't think really like realistically matters. Like, because it's different from football where like all those teams are going to make the NCAA tournament anyway. So it's not a huge issue. But yeah, as for that, I think it's just like a recency bias. They have seen more of Houston than they've seen at Purdue, and yeah, I wouldn't like. I understand getting worked up about it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I think it's all kind of a sham in one way or another.
It was just bizarre because Purdue didn't lose any first place votes. Like, it was like the people that didn't vote Purdue just like dropped him or whatever.
Just doesn't nonsense.
Don't make any sense. It's just absolute nonsense.
Yeah, there's nothing logic like driven about the poll really. And in football, like you can see like who ranked who where, and basketball they definitely need to begin doing that here.
I think they have it
There's one article.
in basketball too. If you go to the AP
Yeah,
website,
you're just gonna have to check. So like,
because I remember when Auburn, like when we missed out on being number one, by like one vote the Jabari year, and we all went to the website to find, and it was like
yeah,
I can't even remember the idiot's name. He's a Kansas guy, and he had Auburn at like number 12, and that was so we ended up being like one vote short of Gonzaga because like one fucking dipshit had us at number 12 instead.
yeah.
It's fucking nonsense. Like and like went after. I can't even. I had to go back and find like they fucking gave that guy hell on Twitter.
I think it's crazy. It's kind of
Jesse
like
Newell. Jesse Newell. That's who it
Oh
was.
my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a football writer also.
Yeah. It was the Jabari year, and Auburn was number 2 after it was the week after we beat Kentucky. We thought we were going to jump to number 1, and we were number 2. And it's because Jesse Newell had us at number 12. What you are you going to dox some writers here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for the one guy's name.
Your biting list.
Yeah. What's his name?
Hashtag Jacob doxes writers.
I think he's the Kentucky
For
one.
like week 2 of the AP poll.
Yeah. Well, I just was saying, like
10 ranked matchups.
This guy has us like at something crazy, like 10 or something. Number 10 or number like 9 or 8 or something.
God,
get him, Jacob. All right. Well, let's talk some real games. We let I tried to stall and wait for Kansas, North Carolina for you to get in here, Matt, because so you weren't here on Friday or Thursday when me and Jacob did the show, but clearly, I mean, we knew this freshman class was loaded, but we spent a lot of time talking about the big three, obviously with DeBansta, Boozer, and Peterson. And this is the second straight show where we're going to lead off talking about a freshman that we barely mentioned, if at all, in our preview show, where we're like, okay, like, so we spent all this time talking about the big three, and the two top freshmen this year so far, story-wise, I'd say, are Koa Pete with his performance versus Florida last week that we talked about, and Caleb Wilson absolutely lit it up against Kansas on Friday. And man, I don't know about you guys, like I'm becoming a Caleb Wilson fan like quickly, because that dude he'll talk some shit too. Like that's what I put it like after the game, he clearly took offense to like all like the big three talk coming into the year and the talk of the three highest rated freshmen, and felt slighted that he deserved to be in that conversation. And like in his press conference after the game, he's talking about like the lock screen on his phone, and he changes it to something that motivated him. And he was like referencing how like him and Darren Peterson played on the same team in the McDonald's All-America game. And he was slighted that Darren Peterson took a lot more shots than him in that game, and pretty sure their team ended up losing that game. So yeah, he's quick contender for Petty King of the Year is Caleb Wilson, because he was ready to talk that shit after the game, and like he was on field of 68, like, and they were talking about like literally like called out like Goodman for not having him high enough and like their freshman rankings and all this stuff. Like Caleb Wilson, man, he put on a show on Friday night. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 9 for 12 from the field, 4 steals. Outplayed Darren Peterson in this one, and he made sure everybody knew about it, that he wasn't buying into the big three talk. And but huge win, man. Like none of the three of us were high on North Carolina coming in this year. Like me and Jacob both left them out of our ACC top 5. Matt, you had them at 5. Yeah, no, none of the three of us were too optimistic about the Heels, but man, Caleb Wilson wants to shut us up quickly, and I don't know. It's always just one game, and you try not to let that change, like one game, like influence how you think about teams too much. But holy shit, like North Carolina looked really, really good in this. And obviously now they have the Seth Trimble injury to deal with, and that's going to be a story of itself. He got hurt in practice yesterday, and he's going to miss some time. So that's a big loss for them. But nevertheless, they defended the Dean Dome, and Caleb Wilson said, "Big three, my ass," and put on a show on Friday night. So Carolina 87, Kansas 74. Whoever wants to jump in on that one, give their thoughts first. I'll give you the floor. But fun game for sure.
I mean, Carolina's come out of the gate on fire to start the year. I mean, just when I saw that Carolina was just kind of rolling over Kansas, like when I switched over to the game, I was like, dang, that's pretty impressive score, because coming into this year, Hooper Davis was close to being on the hot seat. Like,
Still
I
is.
would
very
say he
close.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, like this is this is his team to prove himself if he is a UNC coach, like a coach worthy of UNC. So he's gonna have to. Caleb Wilson's gonna have to keep having performances like this throughout the year to just solidify that this is a team to beat in the ACC. So
Yeah, I want to go on the record and say that Darren Peterson is still better than Caleb Wilson, and Darren Peterson did not play a bad game.
You're about to be Caleb Wilson's lock
I
screen.
know. Yeah, I know, really.
For saying that.
But yeah, I think Caleb Wilson's awesome. I did not, just from a talent perspective, have him in that same tier. But he's definitely got like all the intangibles that you're looking for and like a really good basketball player. For him, he's kind of exactly what North Carolina needs, what Hubert Davis needs. They've had over the years in the Hubert era, their most successful season obviously was the national runner-up year where they retired Coach K. That team had some really just, they were full of moxie and grit and toughness and swag, and they had like all that built together in the backcourt with Caleb Love and RJ Davis and Armando Bacot. They were set. That was a really tough veteran group, and now they kind of have that same attitude makeup led by Caleb Wilson now. So I think and that team obviously was not like a great team and didn't get hot until the NCAA tournament, and when they beat Coach K at Cameron at the end of that season, they went in as 8 seed, obviously, and there's an argument to be made if Baylor were healthy, they probably would have beat them. But this Carolina team, this is what they need. They need this kind of player to spearhead this group in their effort to really probably, like, they need to make the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, I would say, for Hubert Davis' sake. I would say that's probably, if I were a North Carolina fan, that would be what I would set the kind of like threshold at for Hubert to keep his job, if that. So yeah, Caleb Wilson is going to be fun to watch. I do think as the resident Carolina fan in here, putting them in my top 5, I do think they'll probably, they should finish top 3 in the conference.
You didn't exactly give a ringing endorsement of that
I did
either.
not. I did not. No. But no, I do think that it's going to be dangerous here for UNC now, because this changes the expectation. This kind of win. So having this kind of win, if they go out and they start like 1-4 in the ACC, that's going to be tough. So I do think that this is not exactly like a coronation of. I think it says a lot about Caleb Wilson as a player and what he can bring. I do not think that I'm just yet ready to say, like, yeah, UNC is going to be like a top 5 NCAA tournament seed, and they're definitely making a Sweet 16 Elite 8 run yet. I'm not exactly ready to go that far. But super impressive showing to start for sure. I'm just going to need to see them put that together in conference play and go from there.
And you kind of like with this game, obviously a huge win for Carolina, but it just shows like how quickly things can change in this sport where it's like you really can't tell the story of this game now without mentioning the Trimble injury. And like he was a huge part of this game. Like he didn't shoot it well in this game, but he had 17 points and like created a lot for that offense. And now like they're going to be down him for a while. It sounds like I haven't seen an exact time frame of when they're expecting to get Seth Trimble back, but like you saw in this game, like he's going to be a key part of that offense and this team, and now you lose him for a while, and it's like it's going to put even more of a burden on Caleb Wilson, and Vasar, and Vasar is a guy too. Like he had an awesome game here and put up 20, and he kind of came into the year with like a damaged goods tag. I'd say like not a lot of people were optimistic about Vasar and thought he
His
was
stock
like
was
worth the
pretty
money.
low. Yeah.
Yeah, like people didn't think he was like worth the money and going to be like a guy with North Carolina that was going to push him over the edge or anything. And he looked awesome in this game. And so obviously the story of this one's Carolina too. And now it's like things changed. Like I said, things changed so quickly because like the Seth Trimble injury is going to be massive for him. And uh, but yeah, we had to talk about Kansas as well after this one. And I don't think like Kansas is definitely a team. My expectations for them were adjusted after this game where like we obviously knew this was going to be like the Darren Peterson show with Kansas this year, but I don't know like how you guys felt, but like we saw in this game like this is going to be the Darren Peterson show and they're only going to go as far as he can take them. And they just like they got to get something from somebody else on this team if they're going to be a real contender in the Big 12 and nationally this year because that's a lot of pressure to put on Darren Peterson as a freshman to just expect him to carry this team uh, completely. And it's like, yeah, it just doesn't seem like they have the pieces around Peterson right now to be a true contender. And like Peterson was good in this game, but like see, like he got outplayed by Caleb Wilson, and North Carolina was just the deeper, tougher team in this game. And Darren Peterson could only keep him in the game for so long, and Carolina was able to pull away in the second half and win this one comfortably. But yeah, Kansas is going to need to get some production outside of Darren Peterson, or it could just be a lot of these types of games this year where they're just relying on Darren Peterson to do everything for them. And if he doesn't, like they're just going to get beat by deeper, better teams like they did on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, for Kansas, I wouldn't say that Kansas is a Big 12 contender. I wouldn't say they were going into the season because I think Houston was that much better than the rest of the conference. So it's kind of one of those things where I feel like everyone is kind of playing for second in the conference as is. I mean, Kansas has struggled with this in recent years now. It has been a very different Kansas kind of roster construction that they've been through over the years. Just in the Hunter Dickinson era, for starters, that was an abject failure across the board. And this year, I think they kind of are trying to go back to their more traditional roots of building a team where they're kind of trying to supplement the existing talent with the freshman talent like Darren Peterson. And, you know, it's still really early on. It's still early to tell. I think that Darren Peterson is the best. Like, I think he's, as we've talked about, I think he's going to be player of the year. So it's still early on to tell. They definitely do need more balance in their scoring. But I think defensively is where they really did not look strong.
Not
That
at all.
was not a good defensive outing. I think more than the scoring balance, that is something that they need to kind of lock in with immediately. It will not. I mean, it remains to be seen how much that'll really affect them as far as conference play. Some of the best teams in that league are not like going to go up and down the floor really as much as what North Carolina was going to. But if teams really try and speed up Kansas, that could be a problem. So defensively, I would say is the biggest issue that I would have with the current version of their team. Um, the scoring is one thing, and that stuff will kind of like maybe sort itself out with the amount of talent they have. But the defense, to me, is something that they need to like address now, because they can have enough scoring options to reach who knows how many points they're going to need to win some of these games, but they're going to be like every game that they play in is going to be a game if they can't fix the defense. So yeah, I would say defensively that is where they need to really, really address some of those issues, because to me that was where the biggest problems were with Kansas in that North Carolina game.
Yeah. Well, huge win for North Carolina, like we said. Big coming out party for Caleb Wilson, and yeah, I mean, it just goes to show like there's a real possibility that this is just going to be the greatest freshman class we've ever seen. Because I mean, like we've talked about the big three at nauseum. Like we've already had Caleb Wilson light it up. Um, Nate Ament's been awesome for Tennessee. He's one of the best freshmen. We talked about Koa Pete on Thursday and how great he was against Florida. And I mean, you can go down the list. I mean, it's like this freshman class is just absolute. I mean, you got Cam Ward's going to be awesome too. Like you got an absolutely absurd amount of talented freshmen in this class, and I'm sure it's already happened to us twice where we're like, damn, like this isn't even the guy we had on our radar talking about the top freshman in the country coming into the year. And you're going to see like a lot of these guys just put on shows this year. Like this freshman class is just insane, and it's going to make for a really, really fun season in the college basketball world with all these talented freshmen, and should make for a good NBA draft too, where it'll be the second straight year we turn on the NBA draft and not have to see a bunch of foreign players that we haven't even seen play in our lives like dominate the lottery. Like it's going to be another year where the lottery is going to be all college basketball players pretty much, which is just good for the sport as fans in general. I'm sure that makes all of us happy. So, yeah, awesome stuff
Good
with
for
this freshman
basketball.
class.
Like, I mean, there was a real conversation people were having where it's like, oh my gosh, is basketball being overtaken by Europeans and everything else? And this is good for basketball. This is good for American basketball. Yeah, so promising for the sport, to say the least.
Yeah. I guess if you guys don't have anything else on that one, we'll move on to what were you going to
I
say?
did have one thing. I did not know Bryson Tiller, the rapper, played for Kansas.
Yes. Yeah.
I just saw somebody put a screen grab of him like on the court, like when he first checked in, and was just like just put the caption "Don't." Like that was funny. Yeah. Well, we'll move on to Saturday, and Saturday morning we had fun game in Madison Square Garden. The Alabama went into MSG and took down St. John's 103-96. Man, St. John's has issues. They came into the year with a lot of hype, and oh my god, like the same thing we said in the last game. We try not to overreact about one game, but my goodness, St. John's has issues. Like they could not get Alabama was abusing them on the offensive glass. They could not keep Alabama out of their paint. Like this wasn't just like a typical like Alabama chuck up a bunch of threes and shoot. Like they shot 30% from three. I think they only made 10 3-pointers in the game, like which for them isn't a lot. Like this wasn't just an Alabama like shot chuck fest. Like they were just going into the paint and abusing St. John's. And St. John's also just doesn't have a point guard right now. I guess like Ian Jackson was supposed to be the point guard. He didn't even start. Like Rick Pitino already said, he's not playing point guard. And then he didn't even start. Period in this game. He played 23 minutes. Didn't shoot it well from the field. So like that's like, and then who was like they had a mid-major transfer. I can't remember the name. He was supposed to start at point guard, and I guess he got hurt before a game because he like fell into a cheerleader that was like on the baseline or something. got hurt. Do you know the name or whoever their starting point guard was supposed to be? Um, so like, yeah, they don't have a point guard right now, and that's a real problem for this team. They don't have a point guard, and like they're like for a team that made that absolutely made their money last year on the defensive end of the floor, like one of the best defensive teams in the country. This was just an absurdly bad defensive effort for the Red Storm. So for a year, they came in with so much hype, and it was really reaching a fever pitch for them, and seemed like they were going to be one of the stories of college basketball this year. The Red Storm have Rick Pitino's got some issues to figure out coming out of this one. I like like they were just letting Bama's guards like Phylon and Holloway and whoever they were just letting them walk into the paint every single time down the floor. Like Bama was playing with their typical tempo, and it like I said, it wasn't just like a Bama shot chuck fest and make 60% of your 3-pointers and put up 100 points. Like, no, this was just fast paced. Like, we're just a tougher team than you. Like, they dominate. Like, I don't have the final numbers pulled up, but like the offensive glass was just like I don't think anybody expected that to be one of the stories of this game, where like Bama was just dominating the offensive glass, getting into the paint, uh, doing whatever they wanted in this one. And St. John's was able to keep it close. But like I said, they don't have a point guard, and defense looked really bad. So the Johnnies have issues.
Alabama had 14 offensive rebounds to 10 for St. John's on the offensive glass.
Seemed a lot worse than that.
Yeah.
Watching the game, that's surprising.
I looked up. I think it may have been Dylan Darling.
That's who it was.
Okay,
that's who it was.
Okay, I was looking at their roster, but I was watching the game. Alabama didn't. They just kind of played smarter basketball than St. John's did. Like it didn't really feel like a 103-96 game. St. John's didn't play with an intensity. Just kind of let Alabama do whatever they wanted, essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
they just were struggling to keep up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like you say. It didn't feel like a 103-96 game. Like, yeah, it didn't feel like it was that close. That's the way. Like, I mean, Bama was in control of this game the entire time. I think St. John's led this game once, like the entire game. Like, it was like 84-82 was like maybe the only time St. John's led this entire game. Which, I mean, Ejiofor and Hopkins were awesome for St. John's. And they kept them alive in this one. And St. John's also had a crazy free throw advantage in this one and couldn't take advantage of that.
They shot 40 free throws.
Yeah, like it was. I mean, I'll look. I have the box score right in front of me. Bama shot 22 free throws, and St. John's shot 40 on the money. Yep. So, yeah, like crazy free throw advantage for St. John's, and that's like really the only reason this thing was as close as it was. Like, I mean, Ejiofor 7 for 10 from the line. Hopkins is 9 for 13 from the line. Yeah, they were getting to the line a lot. But yeah, St. John's has some real issues here. They don't have a point guard. Like I'm just coming like you need a point guard to win. Like they do not have a point guard right now. And I don't know if they're giving up on Ian Jackson being that guy. What the solution there is going to be, but they have real problems, and they did not pay Ian Jackson all the money they paid him to come off the bench and play 23 minutes. That's just absurd. And yeah, St. John's might be in trouble. That's one team that, like I keep saying, we don't want to overreact about one game, but watching this one, I was like, just shocked. I was like, St. John's is like they're missing a lot right now. But we know Pitino's a great coach and he can get the ship turned around there. But Matt, what did you think about this one?
It was definitely troubling for St. John's for sure, for a variety of reasons, one of which the defense, which you've already addressed. The second one is that the biggest problem St. John's basketball had last year was the shooting. They could not shoot. They did not take enough threes. They did not make enough threes. This game, that still was a problem. They only made 6 threes. If you're going to get into a game with Bama where you're going to let them score 100 points on you, you better make some shots. They did not make nearly enough. And I don't know if they took enough threes to keep up with them. So, yeah, I mean, I think that was a question that they still need to answer. Like, where is your scoring going to come from if Zuby Ejiofor is not, putting up 27 and 10 or whatever he put up against Bama there? Is the 3-point shooting going to be better than what it was last year? Is it going to be the same? I think that is something that is kind of problematic for them right now, and that's going to be one that's might be a problem if that doesn't get addressed. And they're not nearly the defensive team they were last year. So yeah, that they have a lot of issues. I mean, they certainly have one of the best, like a top 3, maybe at worst, coach in the sport. So, it's not as if all hope is lost for St. John's. I just can't imagine how bad like St. John's practice was after that game, or how they're definitely going to be better defensively probably than what they showed, but the offensive numbers and the shooting in particular, that is an area that they were terrible in last year, and it was supposed to be better this year, and so far it has not been better. So I think that is maybe my biggest concern for St. John's. And on the Bama side, I mean, awesome. Phylon, Holloway, Reitzel, who missed most of last year. Your guards looked awesome if you're Bama, and they did whatever they wanted. So I think for Bama, that's a huge plus. I'm not going to say that their defense looked particularly great either. But, you kind of know what you're getting with Bama. They at least have an identity. Like, Bama has an identity. St. John's identity was supposed to be, like, their toughness, how good they were on defense, and they really look so far like neither of those things. So I think that's the biggest problem you have with St. John's there, and whether or not they're going to get that fixed remains an issue, but they certainly have the coach and the players to do it. So we'll see.
I've made my opinion on Nate Oates clear for a while, I'd say, but like the one thing I'll say about Nate Oates is like the style they play, like however it's not fun to watch in college basketball a lot, like when the games turn into just like fucking, I mean, it's because it's exactly what we complain about in the NBA, and makes a lot of NBA games hard to watch, and like we don't want to see that style in college basketball. But that's like where I'll spin it to give him credit, is like he's the closest thing we have in college basketball to an NBA coach. Like I'd say him and Todd Golden probably are, like if we had to like right now be like who are the next college coaches to get NBA head coaching jobs going to be, like I don't think Golden's would leave Florida anyway, but like you obviously put Golden on there, and like Nate Oates would probably be first or second on there as well, and I could actually see him doing it. So like obviously like if they're playing it at that tempo and St. John's just doesn't have the guys that can score with them, like you need scorers and guys who can knock down three and knock down big shots if you're going to keep up with Bama and play at that pace with them. And St. John's tried, like St. John's was not like slowing the pace down in this game like they needed to. Like they let Bama immediately drag them into like their style that they wanted to play, and St. John's just obviously can't play at that. And to me, like you said, the biggest concern with St. John's was the 3-point shooting. And yeah, like I think I just more put it on like you got to get Ian Jackson involved in this offense. You paid him a lot of money to come there, and he was supposed to be one of the focal points of this team. And like he's like playing 23 minutes coming off the bench, like not playing point guard, which is what they brought him there to do. Like he's a non-factor. Like they have to find a way. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know what the plan is. I'm sure Rick Pitino has something up his sleeve, but you have to find a way to get Ian Jackson involved in this offense, and for him to be the player that you brought him
Well, he was
and paid him a
definitely
lot of money to be.
involved. I mean, he was involved. He took the most. I think I don't like. He took a ton of shots for St. John's in that game. You could argue it was not in the role that they brought him in to do. But he took a ton of shots. Like I mean, it's just one of those things. Like you got to make the parts that you have work together offensively. A lot of people would scoff and say like, "Well, they scored like 96 points, so what's the problem?" Like the problem is that they shot 40 free throws and they only scored 96 points in a game where the tempo was like it was that of an NBA game. So yeah, I don't know if they still have the parts yet to go toe to toe with that kind of team playing that kind of pace, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely concerning for Johnny's, and yeah, we'll see. They're gonna have to get the point guard position figured out. That was my biggest take. They can't just get abused in the paint like they did in this game, and they're gonna have to get the point guard position figured out. And I mean, yeah, it's got to be concerning too. You see how good UConn's looked so far, and they're supposed to go toe to toe with UConn in the Big East, and they do not. I mean, obviously, UConn's just played bye games so far. Like they haven't played a real opponent yet, but you can still watch a team play even if they're not playing a great opponent and be like, this looks. And UConn is just absolutely wiping the floor with everyone they've played so far, and like, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, but not great stuff if you're a St. John's fan. But like you said, Rick Pitino is one of the best coaches in the sport, and you know he's going to figure it out with this team. So we shall see. You guys, Jacob, what's up?
I do have one game to shout out from Friday. You mentioned the Big East. Georgetown is looking good so far. They beat smacked around Maryland on Friday.
Yeah, I mean but Ed Cooley is going to need to get more wins like that because I mean the days of like we'll hire you and give you 4 or 5 years to figure it out at a big program like that, those are long gone, and it's year 3 for Ed at Georgetown. Like it's time to go, and like they definitely looked like the team that they're paying Ed Cooley to be. I guess I should say they're paying Ed Cooley to make them. They looked like that team on Friday and got a good win against a good opponent against Maryland. So, good call on that one. We forgot to talk about that one on Thursday, but yeah, big win for Ed Cooley in that one. Because these like the expectations, like it's time for him to get that place going.
Yeah, agreed.
We can move on Saturday. Next big game to talk about was Michigan State 69, Arkansas 66. This was a great game. So, I don't know if you guys in the midst of football and everything, not like it was a great football slate over the weekend. So, I was definitely giving this game a good amount of attention, as much as I could with Auburn Vanderbilt going on. But yeah, this was a good one. Went down to the wire. Michigan State defends the Breslin Center, gets it done. I alluded to Cam Ward earlier. He another like elite freshman. He looked awesome in this one. Had 18 and 10. Big win for Michigan State. There's obviously we talk about shooting though. Like Michigan State 1 for 14 from the 3-point stripe in this game, and they're still able to get it done and squeak by with a win. But that is the one problem with Michigan State coming out of this game is it seems like this is going to be another year where Tom Izzo has a team that can't make a fucking shot to save their lives. So that's going to be a big problem for this team, but they were able to get it done. Cam Ward looked awesome. Big win for Sparty. And then as for Arkansas side of this game, Acuff was not good in this one. Michigan State defended him well. I know Matt was really high on him coming into the year and picked him for SEC Player of the Year. It's early, but not a great performance for him. He played. Am I reading this right? That's crazy. Okay, that
5 for 16
okay.
from
He did not
the field.
he did not play 46 minutes in this game, did he?
No, 33.
I don't think 46 minutes were played in the
Yeah,
game.
that's what I'm saying. It's like that does not
Yeah.
seem right. I was,
Is that
dude, I was reading this box score and I was just like, what? Like, what did I miss? 46 minutes.
Is that like their per
Like what?
36 stats
Did,
or
did,
something?
did he stay? Did he stay out on the court for like an extra 6 minutes, like putting up shots after the game, and they counted it or something? Dude, that threw me off reading this box score. I was like, what? Like, but yeah, he did not look good in this one. Shot at 5 for 16 from the field, 2 for 8 from three, 16 points. Yeah, Michigan State's just. It's going to be the same Michigan State I feel like we've seen for the last fucking 4 years. Like, they're just going to be a fucking grimy, like, ugly team to watch, but they're going to grind it out, and they're going to be in pretty much every game they play, and they're going to be top 5 in the Big Ten and be a good team again and win 20-something games probably and be a top 5, 6 seed. So, and that's just what Michigan State has become under Izzo at this point, but they do have another really good freshman to talk about with Cam Ward here. So, yeah, Michigan State 69, Arkansas 66. Whoever wants this one first, grab it.
I guess I'll start. What a stinker of a game from Trevon Brazil. Also, did you all see the video I sent of him with a towel? Like he shot his towel and hit a Michigan State fan in the face, and the fan like took the towel from him, like, and then they tried to get it back from the fan.
Yeah, give him his towel back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing. Like he and it hit the one guy that they were like chanting at Arkansas, and the one guy that wasn't chanting was the guy he hit. Like as they were leaving. It's just one of the most hilarious videos I've seen so far this year.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arkansas did not look good in this one,
No.
but I don't.
I don't think
Yeah,
either team looked good. You know, like it was not a good basketball game. It was just very hard on the eyes. It was very ugly. Neither team could shoot. Neither team could make free throws. Like it was rough. Like Jeremy Fears was awful for Michigan State. It was not an easy game to watch, and it was one of those games.
He did not make a shot from the field in this game.
I mean, he was dreadful. And yeah, like it was Thomas and Acuff, like, you know, they need to be better for Arkansas, and I think it's one of those games where you can just kind of tell that like both of those teams are going to be like much better by the end of the season than what they are now. Like, just I don't
know. This is. I feel like this is Michigan State basketball. Like,
I mean, it very well might be. Like, it very well might be the case where that's just going to be Michigan State's formula. They're not going to make any shots. They're going to grit and grind. I mean, they. Actually,
how many straight years has this been their formula?
Yeah,
this is what they do. Like,
surprisingly, they really took it to Arkansas on the glass, which the Coach Cal teams usually are really good rebounding, and in that game they were not. So Michigan State beat them on the glass. But you know, it's hard to say. Like, I can definitively say that those old habit. The Arkansas guards are going to be much better by the end of the season when that rolls around, when they kind of have all those new pieces playing together. I do think that they will be much better than what you saw. However, it is, I don't know if concern is the right word, because they're clearly comfortable with it. Like, as we talk about St. John's not having an identity with their team now, like Michigan State clearly does have an identity. This is their identity. I mean, it's a style that translates in NCAA tournament games. And, you know,
and Cam Ward was still coming off the bench in this game, and I think you're going to see, like, he only played 23 minutes, and like you're going to see him become, like, because I think just straight up, like he's the best player on that team, And like you're going to see him become a lot more of a focal point of that team, and they're going to be playing through him. And I mean, he was like you mentioned, like them getting beat on the glass, and he was a huge part of that.
Yeah.
Like he was just doing everything you needed a star freshman to do in this one. He was awesome. Even though he came off the bench and only played 23 minutes, like he was definitely the best player on the floor in this one.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that. And it's really just like he and Cone Carr were the only ones who were really any kind of scoring threat for Michigan State. And most of Cone Carr's points were at the free throw line anyway. And yeah, I mean, Michigan State's just one of those teams that's going to be really, really hard to deal with, really hard to play against. And they're going to drag you into the mud with them. And that's worked for them. And Kentucky just executed so horribly down the stretch. They were given, I think, like 3 or 4 straight possessions where they either could have tied the game or went ahead, and they just, everything they ran went to shit.
You said Kentucky again.
Yeah, again, sorry, old habit, but yes, Arkansas. Everything they ran just didn't work. The execution was not there for them. So that's first big road test for them of the season. Not exactly the best start for them, but they'll be better. So I'm not really concerned with Arkansas.
Give me 1 second. I'm looking something up real quick. Somebody talk.
I
was looking something up real quick.
I just got up to but first, oh my gosh, intercept the ball. The Eagles
Monday Night Football still going.
The Eagles just threw deep on 4th and 6, with 27 seconds left.
Oh, I have it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mess from Sirianni. Very curious of how long it goes where I'm confusing Arkansas and Kentucky, but I don't think it will, because I'm fairly certain that once those teams start humming along, and it's not going to be confused.
I don't know if either of you watched. I watched a little bit of this game. I didn't watch the whole thing, but absolute barn burner we had on Saturday was Virginia Tech and Providence.
Yeah, that game went to overtime.
I saw the score on that one.
Nicholas Abdallas was his another freshman. like this is the story of this season. Like the dude was incredible. Like I said, I wasn't like locked in on that game. Like I threw it on Peacock for a few minutes and saw the end of it, but the dude was awesome. He had 33, 5, and 6. Just yet another freshman to mention, but what a barn burner that one was. Went to OT. Virginia Tech gets a win. That's a program that's been in the dumps a lot, but like they seem like they might be a little bit of a feisty team in the ACC this year.
I like Mike Young as a coach. I just don't think they've had the talent to make up. I think it's just a Virginia Tech issue.
Mike Young has had better rosters at Wofford, which is not good for him. Like, that's not exactly what you want to hear when you're coaching an ACC team.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough place to coach. They've never really gotten the coach right. I mean,
outside of
Buzz Williams, but their ceiling with Buzz was kind of like Sweet 16. And now I think it's
Williams ceiling everywhere.
Yeah, well, his ceiling at Maryland might be NIT based on what we've seen now. So that remains to be seen.
Nicholas Avaladis.
Oh my God! What are the Packers doing? Hold on.
That's the lead guy. Had 33 for Virginia Tech.
Is this what is this? Like 72 yards? Like what are they doing?
I'm not even gonna try.
It's gonna be a 60-yarder. Let me see. I'm trying to see. The Eagles are definitely gonna call timeout before he kicks this, I think.
This is over 70 yards. Hold on.
Well, the play clock just ran out.
What is happening?
Saquon's demanding. This fucking guy, Dom, get him out of here. Yeah. My gosh.
Not a big Dom fan.
Not quite here. What are we doing? All right, so play clock's at 0. So the ball's at the
Dude, they're still in their own territory.
The ball looks
not
like it was. He missed the kick short, so.
But what, did they call a timeout? Like, oh
yeah,
my
they
God.
called timeout, but he missed the kick short.
Great college basketball programming we have right now, but this is absurd. They're like, what are we watching? Now he's back on the sideline? Like,
yeah, they're not going to kick this. Yeah, you can't.
There's no way. Like,
yeah.
I mean, how long was the one the Patriots tried last year? Like,
oh my gosh, well, that was a mess. Yeah.
I was like, there's no way they're kicking this. All right, let's watch the last play of this.
Well, you don't. It's not the last play.
What the fuck was that?
Now they're gonna.
No, they are gonna kick it.
All right, send McManus over to practice some more.
I thought they were gonna try like a pitchy woo woo there. Like, I didn't realize they were just throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, evidently not here.
What a fucking terrible week of football. My goodness. And then we just get this stinker to end it.
Yeah. Fun times there for ESPN. 64 yards here, so.
That seemed a lot longer than 64 yards.
Well.
No, oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I think he missed the kick by 64 yards.
What the fuck was that? Looked like me on college football 26 on the road, like trying to kick it. Like,
yeah.
If it's like 50 yards on that game, you just got to go for it. Even if it's like 4th and 14.
There's Dom again.
Yeah. Well, to get back in the college basketball groove here, I do really want to hear Jacob's thoughts on Indiana basketball and how great they look.
Dude, they looked really good.
Yes, how great Tucker looks.
He already said at the start of this.
Really?
He already said at the start of the show, like when we first got in here, like Marquette just sucks.
Marquette
didn't look really great. Good. I think Indiana's going to be a team carried by their 2 stars, and like what's going to really catch up to them is like their lack of front court depth, especially when we get into like Big Ten play. I know I got to give Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker their flowers, but I mean, it was a good win over Marquette. Marquette definitely has a lot of questions right now.
Yeah, I did not.
Who is terrible.
I did not actually get to watch any of that one, so I don't really have anything to add to that game.
If Tucker's healthy, man, they're dangerous, and yeah, I would not be surprised if that team wreaks some serious havoc in the Big Ten here.
But yeah, I believe it was 100-81 was the final.
100-77.
100-77. Indiana win. Another game to bring up was Saturday night. We had Gonzaga 83, Oklahoma 68. Watched a few minutes of this one. Not a ton of it, but great game for Graham Ike, and Gonzaga took care of business. By the way, did you guys happen to catch Kevin Keats, his halftime analysis during this game? He said, "We need to."
Is very weird on TV. Yeah,
we need to start treating Gonzaga like a high major program. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, where have you been, Kevin?
Yeah. Guy makes one Final Four, and he's like.
We need to start treating them like a high major program. Like, oh, okay. So all the times they've been a 1 seed and gone to the national championship and gone to the Final Four and gone undefeated and first round picks and NBA players, more number 1 rankings, like conference championship every year. No, we don't treat them like a high major program. We need to start doing that. Thanks, Kevin.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. I was just wondering, why is Gonzaga still in the mid-major top 25 poll? Because they are not a mid-major program.
Well, they're not a mid-major program. They're just playing a
Yeah.
mid-major conference.
Yeah. But they're joining the new Pac-12.
Tyler Grant Foster is playing right now, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He's playing.
He got the waiver, or he's it's appeal.
It got.
I think he got it.
Yeah, it's official. Yeah,
good. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know if it was under appeal.
I'm very pleased. Yeah.
Nigel Pack still playing college basketball in this game.
Playing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
wow.
He played in this one. But yeah, I thought Oklahoma would be a little bit more competitive here. I was surprised to see the spread as high as it was. Like, I think Oklahoma's got like a tournament level team again. Like, I wouldn't say much more than that, but like, they'll be a decent team in the SEC. And like, I like some of the guys they have. I expected them to go on the road and be a little bit more competitive here, but Gonzaga just took care of business here. And not a lot to talk about out of this one, other than the Zags look really good again. Graham Ike looks really good. You guys got anything on that one, Oklahoma, Gonzaga? Any takeaways there?
Not really.
Great game for Gonzaga.
Outcome.
Gonzaga defended much better than I thought they would in this game, and overall, that should hopefully for Gonzaga be a big out-of-conference win as far as seeding goes.
I mean, Mark Few with this non-conference schedule every year is just like he loads it up.
Yeah, rightly so. I mean, they need to get those, quad one.
Speaking of non-conference schedules, like, I just want to point out, in the next 34 days, Auburn plays non-conference games against number 1, number 2, number 5, and number 6 in the AP poll.
Yeah. Come a long way from App State, man.
Yeah. So Stephen Pearl's Bruce did not leave Stephen any gimmies in this non-conference schedule. My goodness. Team I wanted to mention, a couple teams from Sunday. Again, this is like playing by game, so it's like you don't know what to take away and how good they are, but like Georgia has just been demolishing teams. Like, they beat Maryland Eastern Shore by about 100. Then they played Morehead State yesterday. I put on a little bit of that one. I was at my buddy's house, and he's a Georgia fan, so we threw it on the side TV for a little bit, and Georgia absolutely took care of business here, put up 120 points. But yeah, I mean, it's bye games, but like, worth mentioning at least. Georgia and Mike White, they might have a little bit better team than anybody anticipated. So, I don't know if you guys got anything on that, but to me, they were worth mentioning because, holy cow, they have looked very good.
I do. There's a few more games from Sunday that I'd like to mention too.
I had one more I was going to bring up.
Oklahoma State beat Texas A&M.
That's the one I had. Bucky Ball was not successful in this one. Man, Pop Isaacs was. I watched a little bit of this one. Pop Isaacs was fucking terrible in this game. I mean, he got there late. Like, that was a late addition for him, and I don't know how much that affected anything. But Pop Isaacs was terrible in this game. But I said it. Like, I said it in our little preview show. Like, I thought Oklahoma State was a sneaky team, and man, they absolutely kicked ass here against pretty good SEC competition. Like I said, we played an exhibition against them, and they looked really good. Oklahoma State might have a little something cooking.
Steve Lutz is a good coach, so he has them rolling. It's taken him a couple years, but it's taken him a couple years to get it rolling there, to rebuild them out of that hole they were in. With the previous coach, I forget his name. Oh, what's his
Boykin.
Boykin, where he had Cade Cunningham, but not much
Yeah.
else. But they look like a legit team now. And Texas A&M, I mean, they have a long way to go. Bucky McMillan has a long way to rebuild that roster to being an SEC contender.
Well, if you get two for 11 from Papa Isaacs
Yeah.
and 1 for 8 from 3, it's not going to get the job done.
Yeah, because at Samford, Bucky's teams, like, they're built on 3-point shooting, like having 5 or 6 guys that can hit the three on the court at one. Just like a whole roster of shooters out there. That's not what we saw from Texas A&M on Sunday. So
Rylan Griffin also still playing college basketball.
We did see Baylor beat Washington, a team I was quite high on coming into the year. Curious if you still felt that way about Washington.
I still do.
Just doubling down.
Yeah, it was only a 9-point win for Baylor. Early road win, early loss on the road for Washington. I think they have the talent to get there. They just haven't put it together as a team quite yet. But I think in the Big Ten schedule, I think they're going to be a strong contender.
You guys both stuck we never did a proper cleanup from our preview show. Like, when we did the Big Ten, you guys both, I did not see a single other person with Indiana in their Big Ten top 5, and I did not see a single other person with Washington in their top 5. I feel like you guys both went out on quite a limb with both of those picks.
I will proudly walk out on the limb for the DeVries family. So I am very supportive of Darren and Tucker. So very high on Indiana.
I think Washington, I'll stick by my picks too. I think Washington, the acquisitions they made in the offseason through the portal, that was perfect team building, in my opinion, for where they were as a program last year. And I think that they have a lot of speed on their team, because last night I think they just weren't making their shots like they should have. But I think that comes with the road and playing a coach like Scott Drew. So
I wanted to mention from Saturday too. I alluded a little bit earlier to Houston and Towson. Did any of you check out any of that game? Because that was a fucking football game between those. Because Towson's a very physical grinder team in their own right, and they obviously nobody does that better than Houston. And the rest were just letting them go. That Towson Houston game did not look like basketball, whatever it was.
I saw you texting about it. I kind of followed the score, but yeah, that don't shock me.
I mean,
there
Towson gave them
free throw shooting. Yeah, there were I don't think there were many free throws in the game.
No, the rest were letting them go because both teams were just. God, I mean, it was freaking haymakers.
Yeah, and Pat Scarry wants to play very similar basketball to what Houston wants to play. So yeah, that makes for quite the tackle football affair.
That was a very very easy under game.
Very.
I bet. Yeah, I have not had a great start to college basketball season with bets. But that was one I did get pretty easily. Yeah, I was high on SIU Edwardsville tonight, man, and they got the shit kicked out of them by Indiana State.
Green Bay won.
Doug got a win. I know who I wanted to mention. UCLA.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention them.
Playing right now.
Haven't been great.
No,
they've been
they've been kind of in a game right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're kind of pulling away from West Georgia right now, but they're not like they're playing with their food in these bye games. We'll say.
It was 37-32 at half against West Georgia, and then they only beat Eastern Washington 80-74. They were down to one of them for a decent amount of the game, I think.
Well, which is really surprising because Cronin is the type of coach where you would not expect these letdowns on the bye games, kind of. Like, he would be the type who would just be like, no mercy. We are trying to bludgeon these teams, and they're just not.
Oh, for my next question, like I'll ask either of you, like we gotta start like a one shining recap show investigation and get to the bottom of something. It like do we got like a Bishop Sycamore on our hands with biblical studies?
Yeah, I think it is.
Like who is biblical studies? Like where is this school coming from? Like where are they? Like what is their enrollment? Like who are these players? How are they? They lose by 100 to everybody they play. I'm starting to wonder if biblical studies is a like. Do we got a Bishop Sycamore going on here?
Maybe the school is being funded on the price that these schools are willing to pay to play against them. But very weird situation, regardless of where you might stand on the issue. It's
they were playing a back-to-back last week. Like I forgot who they played one night. And and I looked at it. It's like the FCS teams on college, like on College Football 26. When you look on Dynasty, and it's like FCS Southeast is playing like 30 different teams in a week, and it's like, can we get to the bottom of biblical studies?
It's like
I need some information about this school.
And you got not just them, you got that Lincoln, California school too. It's basically the same thing. Like I don't know if you've seen their football team. They get blown out like by like 100.
I've heard of them though. I know they exist.
Yeah.
It's biblical studies or like.
Yeah, that's a question that needs to be asked here because I have never heard of the school until like last week.
Biblical Studies today played McNeese, and McNeese at halftime was up 65-11.
Is that like? Yeah, that's got to be like. It can't be a real school.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Is this a Bishop Sycamore?
I think I've mentioned the.
It's not a Bishop Sycamore
here on the podcast before, but do you remember that one school that played North Dakota State the one time? It was like an insane score. Let me find it. It was a legit basketball. It was like a legit school, but it's like a super small like religious like I don't know like
I mean like all the Penn State branch campuses are playing some of these schools now.
Let me find it. Oak Hills Christian. The final score was 108-14.
Oh my god!
The women's.
Oh man! By the way, with the UConn the other night, that was just like abuse. like what?
Yes, and they played Columbia tonight, and Dan Hurley was still like just fuming with the team, like for all kinds of reasons. And UMass Lowell just hockey school. They've actually had some decent basketball teams over the years. I will give them that. But
do either of you ever watch Eye on College Basketball with Parrish and Norlander?
I do not.
They have a running joke on that podcast. UMass Lowell, the alma mater of Elvis Presley. So.
They're certainly doing the opposite of what UCLA is doing in these bye games.
Some of these schools that play these games, man, I'm just like, what is happening here? We got to get to the bottom of biblical. Okay, so I had you. By the way, I had UConn and Columbia. I had it on in the background today as I was doing some stuff, I think I saw 3 different times in the first half a Columbia player leaving the floor bleeding. Like what? What's going on? Like was this a hockey game? Like what?
Was it a now there are so many there are some bleeding pictures where you're like, yeah, that's badass, and then you see like the Daniel Jones bleeding one where you're like, that that could not look any less tough if you tried. Yeah, like
Were you watching that Yukon Columbia? Like, did you see what I like?
yeah,
There's one guy who had like a
yeah, I know
blood
what you're saying.
stain,
Yeah,
like he had a
yeah,
blood stain on his jersey, like right below his
Yeah,
armpit, and then like, he was walking off the floor. And then there was a guy like whose face was cut, and he was walking off the floor. We just got blood everywhere in
I
this
know. See,
Yukon. Like
there was
Dan
one
said,
game.
go for their throats.
There was a game like somebody was bleed. I forget which game it was, but the player had to come out because he was bleeding and it got on someone else's jersey, and the announcer said that guy has blood on his jerseys. Hopefully they don't see him or something. And they were like, yeah, they didn't. The refs didn't see him. He had blood on his jersey, so they didn't make him change.
We did have one game worth of fuck tonight, by the way. We had in the Sanford Pentagon, we had Iowa State versus Mississippi State. And man, Iowa State took care of business tonight. Taman Lipsey was lights out in this game. And Mississippi State lost, by the way, but I just want Josh Hubbard is awesome. Like I
Yes.
wish like he's a guy who like he's been loyal to state, but like I would have loved this. Like he would be like a well known player in college basketball, like if he played for a better team and a better school. Uh Josh Hubbard's awesome. But yeah, Iowa State took care of business here. But yeah, it was fun watching Lipsy and Josh Hubbard go at it. Um, Iowa State took care of business. Never really in doubt. Like State led early, and Iowa State throttled them pretty good here. Yeah, I don't have much else to take away from this one. Do you guys got anything you wanted to mention here?
I do have one comment. I didn't know Achor was on Mississippi State.
Indeed.
Yeah, I just remember him from Sanford's run 2 years ago. But
You
yeah,
got anything from this one, Matt?
No, very fun venue. For starters,
Love
I
the
enjoy
Pentagon.
that. Yeah, I very much enjoy that venue. Yeah, impressed that Iowa State beat them that badly. I kind of expected Mississippi State to be more competitive. But the Iowa State defense is kind of designed to stop players like Josh Hubbard routinely. So just a pretty bad matchup there for Mississippi State. So not entirely shocked by the outcome of who won and who lost, but I am pretty surprised that Iowa State really just full on took it to them.
doing some scouting for when Purdue plays Iowa State. That's going to be a fun game.
Matt, I had a question last
Taman
week.
Lipsey.
I just thought of maybe you know the answer. When a D1 loses to a D2, how is that like? Is that counted in the quadrant system? Like, is that just quad 4?
Yeah, it's
like,
a very good question. I didn't know if that was like quad 8 loss or something. If they just invented a new quad for
is it
that
just
kind of
like automatic tournament eliminator? If you look, like Boise State lost, who is like usually a bubble team most years, and like lost to a D2. So I was like, if Boise State's like on the bubble come March, are we just like, and they have a quad 9 loss?
Yeah, pretty much. Like I would assume that's how that's counted. Like it can't be counted the same as like a regular quad 4. So it's got to be like something lower. Those games are very weird because like Penn played Rowan University in New Jersey last week, and that was like the opener for Fran McCaffrey. That game counts for Penn, but it is considered a scrimmage for the D3. So it's a very weird setup there. So, yeah, I don't know how that works, but yeah, it's a weird setup that you only really find in college basketball.
I guess we'll find out when they put out the first net. in December. I'm scrolling right to Boise State and
Yeah, you
seeing
should.
how that is scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Man, we got a slate tomorrow though. I'm excited. We got our first like real like awesome night of college basketball of the year, I'd say, where we have like a lot of good games. Like there's been like good games here and there, but like we got games tomorrow. We got Wake Forest and Michigan. Um, that'll be a good one. We got Louisville and Kentucky. That's obviously like the big ticket game. We got Florida State. Uh, what else do we have? Scrolling through here, checking it out. Uh, Duke and Army. It's gonna be a blowout, but that's a cool
Yeah.
matchup. Like, um,
Illinois, Texas Tech play.
yep, yeah. I'm scrolling through here right now. Obviously,
Gonzaga, Creighton.
Gonzaga and Creighton.
I can't believe Jacob has not mentioned Wofford versus Auburn as one of the games.
I'll be there.
Keep
I got
in
my
mind.
ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
there.
Blow them out by
I'm excited.
30.
My first game of the season. I get to see Auburn play twice this week, man. I'm going tomorrow. We play Wofford, and then I'm going to Birmingham on Sunday to watch us play the #1 team in the country.
All right.
So, yeah, I nice tune up tomorrow, hopefully for Houston, and then yeah, hopefully we can give Houston hell Sunday. I honestly have no idea what to expect going into that Auburn. We could
Yeah.
get blown out, and I could also see exactly what happened last year happening, and Todd Pettiford just playing out of his mind and taking the game over. Yeah, well, let's see what happens there. But yeah, nice little slate tomorrow. Any of those games you guys want to talk about? Obviously, Louisville, Kentucky. That's the one. There's going to be a lot of points in that one. That will be a pretty easy
It's definitely
over
argue
bet.
nobody has made more what they would probably describe as significant roster upgrades through portal than both those teams.
Absolutely.
So time for them to put their money where their mouth is and see how they look.
I mean, I had Kentucky as a Final Four team in my predictions. So, yeah, that'll be a fun one. We got Ole Miss and Memphis as well. That's I don't know if a lot of
Regional,
people know. Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know about like that rivalry
Those schools
because
are
it's
like right next to each other, basically.
yeah, like right down the road. Like that's an actual rivalry. Like I said, if
had
like
some
if
good
people
football games over the years, yeah.
if people don't like know like the geography around here, like they might not realize that like those schools are literally like 30 minutes apart. So that'll be a good one. Yeah, I mean, you guys want to
Texas Tech and Illinois. Did you mention Texas Tech and Illinois?
Yeah, Matt got that one.
Okay.
But yeah, any of those games you guys want to look into, pick, preview, anything, or what are we thinking? What are you watching for tomorrow night? I'll pose the question to you guys. What's the #1 storyline?
I mean, I think for me, just some of those teams who have looked really good thus far, finally playing like what you might say is like real competition almost. No disrespect to like Oklahoma, but like I want to see Gonzaga play against Creighton and see how they look against that kind of team. Same with like, Illinois playing against just a really, really good defensive team in Texas Tech there. Want to see how that looks. And yeah, obviously Louisville, Kentucky. That's one that's a huge rivalry, and both those teams. Obviously we've talked about the upgrades they've made, the amount of money they've probably invested. I think that's a game that Louisville probably needs more than Kentucky because Kentucky will have significantly more opportunities in conference play.
Louisville's a 4.5 point favorite here.
Yeah, to bolster their tournament resume. So I think Louisville needs this one more. So yeah, I'm excited to see like some ranked matchups, and yeah, I would say that's what I'm most watching for tomorrow. So
I think tomorrow we might, like we mentioned that game, and like we're mentioning freshmen that like we didn't talk a lot about but who are great, and let's like I think another, like I think tomorrow night might be the Mikael Brown Jr. coming
yeah,
out party for Louisville. Like that matchup with Mikael Brown Jr. and Otega Owe, like that's going to be a fun matchup to
Mhm.
watch. I'm very much. I mean, I'll be at the Auburn Wofford game, and I'll probably try to like sneak that one on my phone while I'm sitting there and multitask and check that one out, because that's, I think that might has potential to be one of the best games of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean it's a rivalry, so I think both teams are going to be on their A game. It's going to be a fun night of matchups, and I think that's probably the biggest storyline is that Kentucky Louisville game. Um,
Jacob,
huh?
Jacob,
What?
we got Thursday.
Yeah.
I had to ask you. We
Hmm.
got the Purdue Boilermakers and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Hmm.
That, what do you? How you feeling? How you
I,
feeling? We
I,
talked about
I,
Bama earlier. I'm surprised you
mhm.
didn't reference it, but that's going to be
I
a
was going to bring it
game on
up.
Thursday.
Yeah,
Like,
it's going to be. I feel like that's going to be. That might be the game of the week, honestly. Like just lighten it up because especially with TKR back, like it's going to be one of those offensive shootouts. The last two times Purdue's played Alabama, it's just been instant classic games. You had up in Toronto, Zach Edey went down to the wire, and then last year in Mackey, you had CJ Cox coming out party where he just lit up Alabama from three. So we'll see how that goes. They may be wanting to get revenge, but that's just going to be a close one, though, either way.
I'm looking, the rest of the week looks. Oh my God, Oakland's playing Houston. They just got done playing Purdue, and
Yeah,
they're playing Houston.
they play Michigan, Purdue, and Houston to start the year.
That is
It's
insane.
for a mid-major.
Um, yeah, Wednesday's pretty sleepy. Thursday, I know we have Bama. I'm just scrolling through the slate to see what games to bring up before we call it wraps. Thursday we have the backyard brawl. That'll be a good one. Um, what else we have Thursday? We said Purdue, Bama. Um,
Let's see.
yeah, it looks like a bunch of crap on Thursday other than Purdue, Bama. Um, and then let's see Friday, and then we'll we got the Delta Devils traveling to Hawaii.
Washington,
try and schedule some wins where you can.
the Apple Cup in basketball on Friday. Gonzaga, Arizona State.
I'm so sick of some of these games.
Arizona, UCLA is a big one.
They just don't want to go against some of these football games. I'm telling you.
We can't get to feast week quick enough. Because like
There's
some of these games, I'm just like, what are we doing?
Providence, Colorado.
All right, we got some good games on Friday. We got obviously like we got in at the Intuit Dome. We got Arizona, UCLA. We're gonna find out. I mean, we were wondering about UCLA. Like we're gonna find out about them. Um, so that'll be a good one.
Good mid-major matchup. High Point versus UAB.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That'd be a fun game to turn on.
So yeah, I guess that about anything else. Anything else? Making sure I didn't miss anything. Anything you guys want to bring up, or we got TCU, Michigan. That's Michigan should take care of business there, but they go to Fort Worth for that one, so keep your eye out. Any other games that I missed or that we didn't talk about, like this past weekend or coming up this weekend or this week that you guys have your eyes for? I'm gonna shoot to go live Friday night, so that's why I kind of cut it off of talking about games up to Friday. So, anything else you guys? Any other games you wanted to bring up before we call it a wrap?
I think we've covered pretty much all the big ones. from this week's slate.
Matt?
Yeah, all good.
All right. Well, that does it. We covered the first weekend of college basketball season. So we got a loaded Veterans Day slate tomorrow, a couple other good games, and we'll try to get back here and go live Friday night and get ready for the weekend. But yeah, some really good matchups this week with Louisville, Kentucky, Purdue, Alabama, and Arizona, UCLA. Those are definitely the big ticket games of the week, I'd say. So we got 3 straight nights of or 3 of the next 4 nights with some really good matchups. So can't wait to watch those, and we'll be back here Friday night to talk about them. But till then, thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure you follow One Shining Recap on Twitter, follow Sectator Media on Twitter, subscribe to Sectator Media on YouTube. Give us a like, subscribe, all that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Give us a retweet, follow, whatever you want to do. But appreciate everybody tuning in, and we'll be back at it Friday night. Till then, see ya.